Welcome back to the I'm Not Okay podcast with Danny G. It is October, my favorite month, the spooky month. And I wanted to continue with the spooky, gory things of the month. Last week we did a little bit of a throwback. That's because we had Miss J. Mars on the podcast. And we always have fun adventures. But today we are back with the spooky stuff. And I want to get spooky with you. This week we're going to talk about my top 10 favorite Halloween movies and my top 10 least favorite Halloween movies. And some of my favorite may be your least favorite. And some of your least favorite may be my favorite. I don't know. But we're going to go over them and I will tell you why I love them. I didn't do them in a particular order because as I was making them, so many were my favorites, so it was so hard. Every one on my list I will watch this month or have watched, and every one on my list I've probably seen, and not because I've wanted to, but because it's a Halloween-themed movie, and so it's around. And we'll get more into that later. But let's dive into my top 10 favorite Halloween movies. So my number one that I have on here, and I actually do think it's my number one favorite because it was like the first one that popped in my head. It's been my favorite movie since I was a little girl. I'm just all about it all the time. I sometimes watch it even when it's not Halloween time, and I just like a good scare in my life because who doesn't? That would be Nightmare on Elm Street, numero uno. He's been my favorite since the beginning of time. I love Freddy, love Nancy, love that whole trying to kill him and he can't because technically he's in a dream. The best. Like, I just like that aspect of the movie. The movie is like Freddy Krueger is this terrible man who's burnt and has knives for fingers, and he did terrible stuff to little kids back in the day, and so the parents of those kids burned him, and now he tries to kill those kids in their dreams. Only the kids of the parents that killed him. And now that they're teenagers, he's like decided to reappear. And so this girl Nancy, all her friends start dying. They can't figure it out. Then they're all talking about how they have the same nightmare every night. And then sure enough, another one dies and another one dies. And they put it all together and they find out that it is Freddy Krueger. And he kills you in your dreams. So the whole thing is don't fall asleep, because if you fall asleep, you're going to die. My favorite kill scene in that whole movie has to be, I think this is my favorite kill scene in all the Nightmare on Elm Streets. All of them combined, because I think there's 8 of them, if I'm correct, because I have them all, and I think there's 8. There might be 7. But out of all of them, this is my favorite. Johnny Depp is the main character's, Nancy, it's her boyfriend. Yes, Johnny Depp's in it, guys, and I'm going to give you a spoiler alert, but it was from the 80s. If you haven't seen it, that's kind of on you. So Nancy tells her boyfriend, I don't even remember his name, but he's going to be Johnny Depp because it's Johnny Depp. She tells Johnny Depp, I'm going to catch him tonight so you don't fall asleep, because later on tonight you come over to my house and watch me sleep, and you're going to wake me up and I'm going to grab him and I'm going to pull him out. Foolproof plan for teenagers, right? So that was her plan. All the kids have been staying up so long, so Johnny got a little tired and he crashes. And you just see him sink into the bed, to the center of the bed, and it's like the bed's eating him, and he's just going. There's like a hole in the middle of his bed you really don't see, but everything's getting sucked into the hole. And then all of a sudden, blood just starts pouring straight out of the bed. I don't mean like, comes out of the bed softly. Pours straight out. It's like an upside-down waterfall. Just pouring out. It's so much blood. It looked like it would be too much blood that inside of a human, but it's a gory movie, and it is the coolest thing ever. That movie is just cool. I also like when Nancy's other friend gets killed and you really don't see it, but we're seeing it, but we're not at the same time. It's just such a good movie. It's my favorite Halloween movie ever. So yes, number one on my list, and I think number one in my heart, has to go to Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, original one from the 80s. Now, they made other ones after that, and there were other good ones, too. I like the Dream Warrior one. Wes Craven, he did one, and I love that one, too. That's a really, really good one of mine, but I didn't want to put all these Nightmare on Elm Street movies on my list. But I do love that one as well. I really, really like that one. I think that one's like my second favorite, the Wes Craven one, because I just love him so much. We're going to talk about him again because he's actually one of my favorite scary movie directors. Not that he's around anymore, R.I.P. Wes Craven. But another one of his most popular movies, I think, is on my list. But we'll get there in a little bit. Number 2 on the list, Hocus Pocus. I think this is a cult classic, and I think everyone and anyone, grown-ups or children, who have seen this movie will watch it every year. Every year. It's to the point where I think every year they bring it up that they're going to do a remake, and they talk about all these actresses, but nothing will ever compare to the original cast. Bette Midler, she's everything. Sarah Jessica Parker, she was hot in that movie. And I don't even think she's attractive, but she was like the hot witch in that movie, and she had a banging bod. That movie is so good, and if you don't sing, I'll put a spell on you. Every time you hear it, something is wrong with you. That is a great Halloween movie. Awesome, awesome Halloween movie. So good. Love it. I love it. I love the cat. I love the boy. What's his name? Max? You know, like, you just remember everyone because it's so good and you watch it every year. I just like that movie's still around, so people will still watch it, and then, like, you watch it with your kids and your kids' kids and all of that. And I have heard recently that Bette Midler had signed on to do something related to a Hocus Pocus remake, but I don't know anything else, and I think everything is just hearsay. But in all honesty, I don't want them to make another one or redo it or remaster it. Like, leave it be. It's so good. It was so fun and interesting, and who didn't want a book with an eyeball on it? Maybe that was just me, but I would have loved a book that had a whole bunch of spells and it had an eyeball on it. It was so good. It was so funny. It was so, what is that word? It was like genuine. Like, you didn't know some of the jokes as a kid, but now as an adult you can kind of catch stuff. The main character's mom was Madonna, and she had like these big cones for the boobs because, you know, that was like Madonna's thing way back in the day. But like as a kid, you're just like, that mom looks crazy, and now you're like, oh my god, that's Madonna. Like, there's just little references that I like now that I didn't get then. Such a good movie. I actually have not seen it yet for Halloween, but I definitely plan to before Halloween, October 31st. I will definitely plan to watch as many of my movies on my list as possible. I might not watch some only because I've seen them millions of times, but I definitely need to watch something spooky. Next up on the list, Child's Play, the Chucky movie. I loved Chucky back in the day. My mom told me I used to have nightmares of Chucky as a child, and she would tell me, oh no, Chucky's not under your bed. He went to Hollywood to go make a movie. I don't remember ever being scared of him, but apparently I was. But the first one, they've made a lot of Chucky movies since, and I do get into that later, but as of right now, I'm just talking about the first one, Child's Play, with Andy and the mom from Seventh Heaven and the whole story of how Chucky was made and that whole thing. Loved it. Such a good movie. Still a good movie. I think it's funny now, and it was funny back then. And it was kind of also one of those things that was like inappropriate to watch as a child, but you did anyways because it was like a scary movie. It was funny. And you cannot tell me that when you saw your dolls, you'd not be checking on them. I don't know why they make movies like that, like Toy Story and Chucky. Like, you don't want your dolls to come to life. You don't know if they're going to be good or bad, or, I don't know, a serial killer implanted themselves. I mean, now look, they got Annabelle. That girl's a mess. She's a hot mess. Not happening. Not for me. Now, I'm not going to lie. When I was a little bit older, I think like as a teenager going through it, I really did want a Chucky doll for the longest time. I wanted like a Chucky and Tiffany doll. But I never got them, thank God, because I think that would have probably, I'm pretty sure it would have scared me, like my mom said, if I ever woke up and saw Chucky in my room. I don't like dolls in my room. I don't have dolls in my room. I don't have stuffed animals in my room. Sometimes, you know, there's like a teddy bear or something. Suckers under the bed. I just don't do stuffed animals. I don't like them. I don't trust them. I'll be watching them. They know it. Next on my list is the classic original Halloween movie, Halloween. I loved Rob Zombie's version of Halloween. I do like the original Halloween movie with Jamie Lee Curtis and all that. It's super good. It is, you know, something I will watch. But on my list, I love the Halloween. I think it's Halloween 1 and 2. Rob Zombie did his own version of it, and I love them. And not because Rob Zombie made them, because yes, I know he's fucking awesome, but that wasn't it. It was really like the like the filters he used and like the backstory. It was so good. It was really, really interesting. It really was good. I liked it because it explained it so much more of like why Michael is the way he is and why he's not going to stop. And I think at one point, like, you kind of feel sorry for him. And that's such a hard thing to do, to like feel sorry for a serial killer knowing he's going to kill again. Because I feel in the original movies, like, we don't know anything. We just know he wants to kill his sister, and every year on Halloween, he has super strength that no one can explain, and he goes out and he kills his sister. But along the way, he kills a whole bunch of people. Not to say that that doesn't happen in the Rob Zombie ones. I just like the way it's explained a little better. And you kind of see a little bit right before he kills someone why he killed them. And, like, you know, if they're bullying him and stuff like that, you're like, oh, that makes sense. Not that it makes sense to kill someone. I'm not saying that's okay. I'm just saying, from his point of view, in the movie, you're like, oh, I get it. He was antagonized. But love Michael Myers' Halloween version, Rob Zombie. So good. The new Halloween movie just recently came out, and I have not seen it yet. I do plan on seeing it this weekend. The lovely Jay is coming back down to Saytown, so we're definitely going to go see that movie. Last week, we saw Venom. Oh my god, guys. I got to talk about that with her here, so that'll be a later podcast. But oh my god, Venom was so good. And yo, that Eminem album was on fuego. I'm super late to the game. I don't want to get into it. So good. But this weekend, I want to go see the new Halloween movie, especially because it's October and I want to see a fucking scary movie. So that's my plan. We're going to go see Halloween. And I'm excited, especially because Jamie Lee Curtis is in it again. Now, I do know she did another one. I think it was the H2O one. I think that one had like LL Cool J in it too and stuff. And that one was a good one. But you just can't go wrong with the original, the classic. And Rob Zombie's is not the classic version, but it's a remake of the classic, and I do enjoy it the most. Now, for my favorite Wes Craven scary movie of all time, it has to go to Scream. Scream is such a good movie. So good. I remember when Scream came out and like how it blew up. I mean, they did parodies of it. Hello, all the scary movies. But the first original Scream with Drew Barrymore, Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, like, no one knew how big Scream was going to be until Scream came out, I think. Because Courtney Cox was already on Friends, and that, I think, was already blowing up and was a big deal, but she still decided to do this movie, and now look, this movie is still big to this day. I love Scream, especially the first one. You know what's funny? I haven't watched it in a long time, and I know it was on Netflix, and then they took it off, and it's always like when they take something off is when I want to watch it on Netflix, but I think when the guy asked Drew Barrymore in the very beginning of the movie, what's your favorite scary movie? I think she was talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, if I'm correct. It makes me love that movie even more. Love that movie. I love it. So many twists and turns, and you think you know and you don't know. Then they go on to make Scream 2, Scream 3. Those are all good too. I was just sticking to the first of my favorites because without the first, there would be no Scream 2, Scream 3, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Nightmare on Elm Street 17, whatever. But the first one, so good. And I do like that Wes Craven made another one right before he died, and it had Emma Roberts in it. I think it was Scream 4. And that one was really good too. The last one he did. I think he worked on the first one and the last one, and they were both really, really, really good. If you were ever Ghostface for Halloween or something, please comment that picture. I would love to see it. Ghostface was like the face. The face for like the late 90s. For the longest time, everyone was about Ghostface. Whatever happened to Ghostface, guys? Next up on my list is ba-da-da-dum, 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 ba-da-da-dum. Yes, Addams Family. I consider this a Halloween movie, right? I mean, like, they're about death and, I don't know, the opposite of life, and I just feel like they're a Halloween movie, and I love the Addams Family movie. I loved the Addams Family cartoon growing up. I think that's how you know something's wrong with me. There's some movies that, like, kids, you watch and you're like, why did you watch that? I think they had an Addams Family cartoon. I loved it. They had a Beetlejuice cartoon. Loved that. I've already said it once. I'm not going to say it 3 times, guys. Do the count. You're not going to get me. Not today. But the Addams Family was such a good movie. I really loved the love between the husband and the wife. It is so good and so strong. And it's so funny because they are in love with like death, but they're so oblivious to it, and they think what they do is normal, like their life is normal and everyone else is wrong. And I like that they still don't let that affect them. It's such a good movie, and it's funny. So next one, I really don't think is a Halloween movie in all honesty, guys, but it has to do with vampires, which are very much about Halloween, and I very much love this movie, and I super duper love vampires, so it all worked out. My next movie is Interview with the Vampire. I know, you're like, no, Daniela, that's not a Halloween movie, but, I mean, do you not want to watch it on Halloween? It has vampires in it. I can watch it all the time. I'm just saying, it feels appropriate the most to watch it in October, and I love that movie. It is so good. I hate Tom Cruise. I will go on the record. This is me going on the record. I hate Tom Cruise. I hate him. Hate Tom Cruise. Jay can attest to that. She makes me try to watch movies with him. I don't like him. I don't like his acting. I don't like him as a person. I don't like his personality. And no, I don't know him. But he just does not give me good vibes. I think there's only 2 movies I like by Tom Cruise. Interview with the Vampire and Rain Man. And that is it. And yes, I've seen other movies, and no, I don't like them. But back to Interview with the Vampire. Such a good movie, guys. Like, their costumes are beautiful. The story is, like, so sad and twisted and just heartbreaking. Such a good movie. Kirsten Dunst was the cutest with those little curls, even when she tried to cut them off. Because no, bitch, you're going to look like a porcelain doll forever. Such a good movie, guys. I love Interview with the Vampire. I do think that's on Netflix. I might watch that today because that's such a good movie. Oh, I love it. All right. I haven't seen this next movie in a while, but I know it's a scary movie. And I remember liking it as a kid, and I don't know why. But I put it on my list because maybe someone else has seen it and can remind me why I feel like it's a Halloween movie. Sleepy Hollow. I think Johnny Depp's in it, and I don't even remember what it's about fully. I just know it's like the Headless Horseman, and there's like this hunt for him and all this and that. But I remember that movie being scary. I remember watching it in the movie theater with my dad, standing up and, holding onto the chair in front of me, and like that big black horse came galloping, and I got real scared, and I like jumped back and fell in my chair, and my dad laughed. I really don't know if it's a Halloween themed movie, but I like it, and I feel like it would be, because Headless Horseman, Sleepy Hollow, all that stuff is like Halloween stuff, right? I'm not really too sure, but I wanted to bring it up in case someone else felt that way, and if you did, let me know, because I'm trying to remember. And I really can't, but if you do, let me know in the comments, because I don't know. This next one is a cartoon, and I'm 99.99999% sure everyone on the planet has seen it or knows what I'm talking about if you haven't. And that is The Nightmare Before Christmas. The greatest nightmare movie ever, right? Like, Jack and Sally. Oh, such a good movie, guys. I like it because you can watch it on Halloween and you can watch it on Christmas. Like, there's a little bit of both in there. I feel it's more Halloween, of course, but it still has that Christmas vibe to it. I don't know how many times as a kid I would go in the forest looking for a tree that had a pumpkin on it. And I swear to God, if I ever found it, I would have ripped that tree apart trying to get inside of it. I'm telling you right now. I would have loved to live in a town that was Halloween every day. I still would. I would be totally fine never having Christmas again, Thanksgiving, New Year's, Valentine's Day. Such a stupid holiday. But if I could wake up and every day was Halloween, I would totally be okay with that, guys. I'm not even kidding. Love that movie. Love it. Okay, the last one on my top favorite Halloween movies. This movie is so good. It is so scary. It was to the point I watched this movie so much as a little girl, not like as a teenager, as a little girl, that it got taken away from me because I was told I watched it too much. I don't know why I watched it so much, but I fucking loved it. And it wasn't for like anything satanic or disgusting. I just really, really loved this movie. I think it's because it like genuinely scared the shit out of me. My last movie on my list, and like I said, this isn't the last of my favorite, but The Exorcist is such a scary effing movie. You cannot tell me you don't have bad dreams. I remember having a dream of my bed, like, in the air and shit, and I definitely think it was because I was watching that movie too much. But that girl just, like, stabbing herself with a crucifix and her head turning. Oh, that movie was so good. And I was obsessed with it. Not obsessed, but I was still very interested in it as an adult. So I would, like, watch it all the time and watch all the behind the scene features and commentary. And yo, there was, like, some spooky stuff going down while they made that movie. Like, the mom broke her back in real life in one scene when, like, the bookshelf, it falls on top of her in the movie. And then in real life, she broke her back. I think a few people died while making that movie. Scary movie. Now, I have heard that it's based off a true story, and I don't know how true that is. And I haven't, like, researched it in a while, so I don't want to give too many, incorrect facts out there. But I did hear that it is based off a true story, but it's a little boy and not a little girl. And it all starts with that Ouija board. And I'm telling you right now, you will never, 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 not once catch me touching a Ouija board. Never, not once. I will not touch a Ouija board. And I don't care that they sell them at kids' stores. I don't care. That's just something you don't even mess with to find out if it's real, I believe. I'm not very crazy superstitious. I'm a little stitious. But I wouldn't touch a Ouija board, even if it wasn't mine and I went to a friend's house and they're like, hey, we're going to do this with the Ouija board. Cool. You have fun with that Ouija board. I will not. I saw The Exorcist. I saw Linda Blair throw up that pea soup, and I'm not about it. Sorry. Okay, now it's time for my top 10 least favorite Halloween movies. And I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this, and I'm going to get the hate, and I'm willing to take it. This is just my opinion. This is just how I feel. I'm sorry. I'm not okay. Hello, it's the name of the podcast. All right, people? I'm not okay. So the stuff I like, I'm probably wrong. The stuff that I hate, I'm not okay. So the first on my list, and like I said, same thing. This isn't going in a particular order, but this was the first one I thought of. Friday the 13th. I hate all the Friday the 13th movies. I think Jason is so stupid. I think the plot of the movie is stupid. I hate that they've made so many. I don't know why that stupid guy went to space. It makes no fucking sense. I hate Jason. I hate Jason Voorhees. I'm not about him. I don't understand. Like, it's just so stupid. And you can disagree with me all you want, and we can go on about it if you want, but I don't think you'll change my mind. It is a Halloween movie, but it's just not one of my favorite Halloween movies, and it comes on every year. Like, I don't even try to watch it, and I've seen that movie so many times. And I don't even know if it's the right one, because they've made so many. Why? Why do we make so many movies about the same guy killing the same stupid half-naked teenagers in the cabin? We get it. Stop going to fucking Crystal Lake. Now, the second one I hate goes with the first one. Freddy vs. Jason. I hate that movie. I love Freddy Krueger. Love him. That's my bae. He's my Halloween boo-boo. And he knows it, and I know it, and I would love to have a sweater that's Freddy's sweater, but this movie, I cannot stand, and I'm so mad about it. I wasn't excited about it in the first place, because I really, like I said, I don't care about Jason, so I wasn't like, oh my god, but I do love Freddy, so that's why I wanted to see it. There's two reasons I don't like the movie. One is, yes, because Jason's in it, and Jason's a big fucking idiot. Like, it don't even make any sense. I don't understand the point of Jason. I really don't. Like, he's just a big, dumb lug. Second, I hate that it was more of a comedy than a scary movie. Like, yes, it was Freddy vs. Jason, but there was so much bullshit in between and stupid jokes and laughs that it was not worth it in the end. And I don't care that Kelly from Destiny's Child was in it. It could have been Beyonce from Destiny's Child. I still wouldn't have liked the movie. Not a good movie. I'm very disappointed in it. I hope they never remake it and just leave it alone. The next movie on my list is the original Frankenstein movie. It's just my least favorite because it's kind of boring. I think it's black and white. It's super old school. And I've just never been a Frankenstein gal. I don't even understand it. Like, he got brought back from the dead and he's scared of light. And the town people go running at him with pitchforks. It's just really not my favorite type of movie. There was nothing really wrong with it. But I do know it's a classic. It's not something It's not something I plan on watching this Halloween, and it's not something I feel like I will miss out if I don't watch it on Halloween or by Halloween. The same one for this next one. I love vampires. I've already said that. It's been established. But this vampire movie I don't like. And it is about the original vampire, Dracula himself. I know there's a lot of Dracula movies out there, but I'm talking about the original Dracula movie. And again, it's just like an oldie time movie, and it really wasn't for me. And I didn't like it. It was boring. Not that there's anything wrong with Dracula. I love Dracula. I love vampires. I love Vlad the Impaler, the original vampire. I'm just saying this movie in particular wasn't for me. And again, if I missed it this Halloween, I wouldn't be sad about it. Plus, there's like a million other vampire movies that I can watch and be just fine. This next movie, I don't even know if it's a Halloween movie, but I always see it playing in October. You know, the monster of the movie is scary, but I don't think it's a monster. So the next movie is Jaws. I don't think it's a Halloween movie. Personally, I don't. Like, it's just a movie about a big-ass shark, and it eats people. Stop going in the fucking ocean. Leave the shark alone. It won't eat you. Like, stay the fuck back. I don't know. It's always playing around Halloween time. I don't get why. I just don't like this movie. Not that I hate it. Like, I'll watch Jaws, if it's on or something, but it's not something I feel is Halloween related at all. He's not a monster. He's a shark. Sharks are real. Just not a Halloween movie for me. That's why I went on my least favorite. Not scary. He's just a big shark. And every time someone's gonna die, they play the fucking music. So, spoiler alert, that person's about to die. The next one, I think it's a Halloween movie. I've seen it on Halloween time. And it's about another holiday, but it's like scary. The next one on my list is Leprechaun. I see it around Halloween time. I don't think it's a Halloween movie. I know it's about St. Patrick's Day. I don't even know if it's about St. Patrick's Day. I've seen the movie before. And I'm talking about the original one with Jennifer Aniston, not all these other ones like Leprechaun in the Hood, whatever. I don't remember. I really don't like that movie, and I don't think it's a Halloween movie. It's just, Like, I've watched it before a few times, different parts of the year. It's scary, it's funny. But it's not a Halloween movie, and it doesn't give me the Halloween feels. So the next movie, the original one was on my top fave Halloween movies, and this one is on my top least fave. So the first one was Child's Play. I loved it. I'm all about it. Will always be about little Chucky, my buddy. But they have redone Chucky so many times. Chucky has a bride. Chucky has a kid. Chucky has 2 kids. And so I think the newest thing they did, which was last year, I believe, is that Chucky, goes to this insane asylum and fucks with people there, and it has the original Andy in it. And I was so looking forward to it because I was like, the technology now, it's going to look so good. They have the original people in it. It's going to be awesome. Horrible, horrible movie. And I've noticed that every time they make a new Chucky movie, it looks less and less like the original fucking Chucky. Please tell me I'm wrong. Please. Sometime this week when I post about the podcast, I will try to find a picture, or I'll make it myself, of a side-by-side of every Chucky since the first one to the newest one. And it gets further and further away from Chucky than the last one. And I know some of it is like effects and they try to make it better. But, dude, sometimes it doesn't even look like him. It was so bad. The plot of the movie was bad. The plot of the movie was stupid. Chucky looked stupid. It was such a disappointment. Such a big disappointment. And every year they remake it. And every year I get my hopes up. I don't know why. It's going to be bad. Just like the last one. They're just not good. I don't know why. I can't get my shit together. Chucky, you should get your shit together. And don't come after me, little fool, because I will stomp your ass, my little buddy. So the next one, I just have a general dislike. Not for any particular reason. It's not that I hate it or loathe it. I'm just not a fan. But werewolf movies. I know werewolves are Halloween, but I couldn't think of a werewolf movie that I loved. So I was like, oh, Twilight doesn't count, right? I'm not a werewolf fan. I'm not a big fan of on midnight you're going to turn into a wolf and, you howl at the moon and they're all the same. I think that's why I don't like them. And like I said, it's not that I hate them. I just feel like they're all the same. And I know a lot of these Halloween movies are, but this, I just don't feel like they try to change in the slightest. It's always the full moon. Always you run into the forest. You are with a girl and you're like, no, I can't be with you right now. You turn into a wolf and it's painful and we see the transformation. You howl at the moon. Someone shoots you with a silver bullet. like, we can't change anything about that. Like, every werewolf movie I've ever seen has been the exact same. And I don't even know when's the last time I saw one. But I know if I saw one today that came out, it would be the same thing. I highly doubt it'd be any different. So I'm just not a big werewolf gal. Second to last on my list is the Alien movie. I feel like they play this around Halloween, and it's not a Halloween movie. Alien is about an alien, not a monster. It's just scary because of the stupid little thing in its mouth. But I will say it's a really, really good movie. I don't hate it. I just didn't feel like it was a Halloween movie. I actually just saw the newest one. I think it came out last year or maybe a few months ago. But they redid Alien, and it was a really good movie. It was interesting. Alien's good. I just don't think it's a Halloween movie. That's my only critique, guys. Calm down. The last one on my least favorite Halloween movie list is the same thing about Alien. It's Predator. I don't think Predator's a Halloween movie, but they show it at Halloween. And I know they've made Alien versus Predator, and I don't think that's a Halloween movie either. I just think that they are creatures, but not necessarily Halloween creatures. Like, they only come out at Halloween, or I don't know. I just don't feel like it's a Halloween movie, but they always play these movies around Halloween time. That's my only critique. It's just not a Halloween movie. It's not that I don't like it, it's just not a Halloween movie. Okay, my little ghosts and goblins, that is all the Halloween movies I have for you. If I missed any, or if there's some that you like that I didn't mention, or some that you hate that I didn't mention, please tell me because I want to know. And if there's a Halloween movie out there that I should be watching, let me know, because I'm all about Halloween movies. I watch Halloween movies in November. October does not end for me in October. It is forever. I was born in October. I love October. I'm all about it. Alright, guys, be sure to follow me on all my social media. My Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter. I'm not okay, Danny G. Type in one, type in the other. You will find me. Talk to me. Let me know what you think is your favorite and what is not your favorite. I'm always down to listen, guys. I hope you enjoy. Have a good spooky week. Ooh.